Our next cat is another equally friendly young adult cat who also happens to be a Torbie. You can kind of see the differences in, they're the same colors, but there are difference in the striping patterns and things like that. So it can be a little confusing, but she has a beautiful coat. And she's a very petite girl. She weighs not even 6 pounds yet. So if you're looking for that forever kitten kind of look, she has that. She's a year old. She's not going to grow a ton more. She might fill out a little bit, but she's going to have that small, cute little kitten face probably forever. And as you can see, perfectly content being a little bit of a lap cat, definitely showing Sean where she wants all the scratches and scritches, and also a little curious. So she's got, all of those, again, qualities that people are looking for in a pet. Doesn't seem to be too bothered by her neighbor cats and things like that. So when we're looking at, the adoption process, a lot of people ask, well, how long does that take? That takes less than a week typically. We talked about earlier with Piccolo, all the things that we provide as part of your adoption fee, but the application process isn't super long. We do ask you to fill those things out so we can do some checks and make sure we're going to find a cat that's a good fit for your family. But once we've done all those things, it really takes about 2 to 5 days. If you have a landlord and they're not calling us back, or if your pets aren't to date on their rabies status, it can take a little bit longer, but it's really not that long of a process to make Chiclet or any of our adoptable pets part of your family.
I heard there's a reason Chiclet has her sticky name. What's the story?
So Chiclet came in with a sticky substance all over her fur. And with a lot of our animals, if we do know certain things about them, we'd like to give them a name that kind of fits their story. It helps us with the naming process because it can be difficult to name thousands of animals every year, but it also makes it a little bit more fun and interesting and jars our memory as to their story. So the processing team were thinking of things that were sticky. Obviously gum is sticky, and then they were trying to find a gum that sounded like a girl's name, which is not as easy as you might think. So she ended up with the name Chiclet, but obviously we tell all of our adopters, their names are things that you can obviously change. Chiclet is a name that we gave her, and because this is also a question people ask, sometimes animals do come in with names. If they're an owned pet or they have a microchip, we will keep their existing name unless it's offensive, which happens sometimes, or detrimental to the adoption process. For example, Chaos is not a great name for an animal trying to find a new home, right? You can tell on their cage cards and on their medical records if we've given them a name or if it's their existing name by simply looking at the name on the sheet. If it has quotation marks around it, like Chiclet's does, that means that we gave them that name. If it doesn't have quotation marks around it, that means that that's the animal's existing name. Whether you like Chiclet's name or not, doesn't matter if you want to make her part of your family. You can go to visitfcac.as.me to start the process of making her part of your